Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming back to Dale Chanel's 48 World, where we do the bold and the beautiful recaps and reviews. Let's go over the one that happened on today, Lord, May 31st, 2017. Okay, first of all, we have Katie. Both her and Eric are at the restaurant talking over things, and of course, they're actually talking about Quinn and her unfairness and this, that, and that. Eric senses her frustration, and basically just telling her, "Well, hey, if it's something you got to tell me, go on and tell me right now. I respect your honesty, your loyalty, and this, that, and the third." Then Eric knows it's more than just work. He's asking, or not necessarily begging, Katie to tell him what's on her mind. He knows it's more than work related. Then we go to Quinn. Quinn is telling Ridge she can't take Katie threats anymore. She's ready to go on in and tell it all. I'm like, girl, sit down somewhere. Okay, you ain't ready to risk it all. Or you really finna go to your dark side. Because if you lost Eric, then had no chance of getting Ridge, girl, you gonna go in psycho mode 1, 2, 3. Okay. And we don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear about it. Then we got Coco. We go to Coco. She's asking Sally. So Thomas is working here now. Oh, really? That's how we do things? But I'm like, Sally tells Coco to simmer down. He wants to be here. He has forgiven her, and she wants the same for their relationship as well. But Coco's still on her high horse, okay, on morality. People make mistakes, Coco. People make mistakes. Okay, then we move on to Eric. Eric is trying to pacify Katie, telling her she knows, or he's telling her he knows she's frustrated. Eric tells Katie that Ridge is living on the estate. And Katie is making like, oh, that's convenient. I'm like, honey, speak your mind or forever hold your peace. All right. Then we go to Ridge. Ridge is telling Quinn to give Katie her own signature line. Oh, hell, Quinn be like, no, ma'am, no, sir, no, Lord. That's for somebody who really do the darn thing. I'm not finna pacify her. Her work is amateurish at best. And I'm not finna give her any more than what she really deserves. And she really doesn't deserve to be at the company. But wait a minute, Quinn. Did you slept from another mother? Did you not remember you asked her to come work for you all to pacify her? Now you're trying to be an Indian giver. It's not going to work. Might well play up to her. Then Quinn tells Rich, no, what? You're not listening to me. But Rich said, yeah, I hear you 100%. Rich tells her, will not let the truth come out between us. You heard me? Okay. Then Saul and Thomas are getting into it, and Thomas is inserting himself as the boss. I'm like, now wait a minute, Thomas. Just because you drop, some money, 10K down on it, you don't own it now. You said that was an investment. Now you want to come over there because you're sick of your family getting on your nerves, not giving you the position that you feel you should have. So you're gonna come over there and take over on Sally's turf. That's Spectra Fashions, honey. Don't get it twisted. She love you, but she ain't about to give up her reins. And now you playing judge, jury, and jury with a judge, jury, and executioner over there. No, sir, Thomas. You just called yourself the lead designer. Now she can go with that. And she can go on almost saying partners. But I think Saul gonna start some shit. And she's gonna see Thomas in another light. Just because he's her beneficiary when it comes to uh a benefactor, I should say, passing out that dough, she ain't gonna want to give up total control, even though she loves him, right? Then Thomas tells Saul that he's pretty much the major part why there's a big wedge between both sisters right now because Grams and him shouldn't have even set up no camera so Chloe could spy on Forest Creations collection just so they could get a head. And Saul's pretty much saying, honey, this is spectral stuff. I only answer to Sally. And, of course, Thomas like, hey, I get your loyalty, but you're going to have to answer to me sooner or later. That's pretty much where he was going with, y'all. Then we have Coco and Sally still talking, even though Saul wants to interrupt. But Thomas said, look, no, you need to let these women work their situation out since you pretty much put them in that situation, you and Grams. So he denies Saul access to go into interrupting Coco and her sister Sally, trying to mend fences with one another. Right now, Coco is just thinking like a total brat. a spoiled child, and she needs to get off her high horse, forgive her sister, and move on because Sally did confess. She went over there so Coco wouldn't have to be bothered with the situation anymore. And she took full responsibility. What is Coco not learning from this example, this wonderful example of owning your shit and standing in it until it gets resolved? So, Coco, fall back, learn from your big sister and her mistakes, okay? Then we have Katie is flirting with Eric, and Eric is lightly flirting with Katie, but it's innocent on Eric's part anyway. Then we have Quinn is telling Rhea she will not be bullied to put Katie's amateur work in her well sought out, well seeked out collection. She won't, can't do it. Rhea looks at her like you want to say, Woman, if you don't do what I say, but he looks at her very confused and at her like, Woman, really? You really gonna stay down and give ultimatums of what you're not gonna do when we both could lose a hell of a lot? We go to commercial, we come back. We have Saul and Thomas still making small talk about him convincing Sally to betray Coco's faith in her. Then we got Coco still getting on Sally about how she used her. I would think she could have lost this, that, and the third. Then Coco's, like, Coco, you a baby girl. You turning to be a spoiled ass brat. Sit down. She is not acting like a young grown woman like she wants to portray herself is and feel like she got it all together. But she wants to play the role, okay? No, we need you to act the role, okay, Coco? We need you to act grown, process thoughts strongly, and move on. And forgive. It's for you, not the other person. Then we have Katie telling Eric what she needs in a man. Eric don't know that it's so hard for Katie, or why is it so hard for Katie to find a single, well-established man that's going to benefit her attributes. And Eric is talking about or telling Katie about the wonderful attributes he do have. Don't give up on love, etc., etc., etc. And he loves loyalty. He thinks Quinn is being very loyal to him, and he respects it and wants it from Katie as well. I was like, okay, Katie, this is a good time for you to just blast Ridge and Quinn on out the water, but you're not doing so. I don't know why. Why aren't you? Okay, then we have Ridge telling Quinn, give it to her. Quinn is talking about twisted danger. Ridge swears to Quinn he doesn't think about her, blase, blase, but he asks Quinn, does she think about him and the things they share emotionally? She doesn't answer him. She just looks at him. Okay, and they both looking at each other. We go to commercial, we come back. We have Coco is still torn between forgiving Sally and moving on without her. Then Coco, I'm like, you can't be sure of life and the things that falls at your doorstep. You just gotta deal with things how they are and make your best judgment. Sometimes your decisions are flawed, but you go on and try to rectify the situation as much as possible. But you gotta keep living. You gotta take the bumps and the bruises along the way in this life journey anyway. So what you're trying to not forgive your sister for is just totally foolishness. Kiss and make up, forgive her, and move on, Coco. Writers, do you hear me? Writers, do you hear me? Then we got Katie and Eric are finishing up on their little lunch and their little talk, etc., etc. Eric tells her to talk to Quinn. Communication is the key, all right? But he tells Katie also he expects loyalty from her too. Like, really? That's where we going with this thing, Eric? Everybody being loyal and truthful, except for, I mean, you're being loyal and truthful, but the people you surround yourself, honey, they are tearing you down behind your back. Okay. Then we go to Ridge. Ridge tells Quinn to give Katie what she wants. They fuss a little bit more. Then Ridge, out of all his frustrations, animosity, I don't know, urgency of needing love at the time, Ridge kisses her, meaning Quinn, with so much force. And she returns to Vance because she's missing his touch, I guess, too. And it just overwhelms her. So she surrenders to his embracement of her. And they both end up on Ridge's bed consoling one another in their passion, their lust, their desire. The temptation has moved to another level, guys. Another level. They're not on their feet anymore. They're off their feet onto the bed. And we can only speculate and try to ascertain what the writers will write for us next, as far as their characters and how deep it's going to go. All right, guys. That was my assessment, my recap, my review on The Bold and the Beautiful that aired on May 31st. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow, Thursday, for more recaps and reviews of The Bold and the Beautiful, guys. Blessings and talk to you soon.